the state of Oregon. It's just going to absolute shit. And I can't remember when did you guys move up here in your childhood?
1990. I was 5 years
Oh,
old.
5. Okay. So again, well, that's even better than my dad because my dad was born in San Bernardino,
Oh,
good old
geez.
Inland Empire, and he moved up here when he was 7. But he, well, to technically to Southern Oregon, to state of Jefferson. Yeah, the state of Oregon, because obviously again I'm born and raised here in the west side of the Portland area, where I've spent my whole 32 years of life so far.
Wow.
Roots are a huge thing because obviously the impact where you're born, especially if you're born and you're actually raised most of your life there, especially your formative years in a specific place. No matter how badly somebody wants to get out, usually eventually they'll have to acknowledge that there's still some sort of a pull back because well, they want to call it nostalgia or what
Yeah,
it really is, which is that there's a root there. You know, like a almost a soul tie. You know,
exactly.
because you literally like your energy is imbued there because you were literally formed and you literally continue to form there until you
Yes.
became your adulthood at least or whatever else your adulthood. That sounds so weird. Obviously it's a hugely impactful thing, and that's why I've actually told people before, I'm like, you can take the boy out of the hood but you can't take the hood out of the boy, you
Exactly.
know. So and I say that because it's literally true for me, because like no, I could live literally halfway across the world from Aloha, but I will always be Alohan at heart. Like it'll always feel like home, no matter how much it changes. I think it'll always feel like home. Like it'll ruin me if it's so changed in the future where it becomes like a Westland suburb, you know, where it's like all of a sudden it's all super rich instead of impoverished like it's always been, because
Home.
it's not home anymore. Like it's so opposite of that. But at the same time, your roots are still there because you could even still now, even if they change the street layout, you could still navigate to the exact spot where you grew up, you know, or whatever. So, you know, home is very important to my heart. Like I'm a very sentimental person, I guess, because if I really think about it, because like my heart, literally, I feel it in my heart when I talk about it. Like I almost want to cry in a way, because not just the nostalgia factor and how much I kind of almost miss the days I was growing up in that. Even though I came from a very fucked up background, I somehow still am so attached to that time where I want to be back in the old house despite how illegally against code it was, even for when it was built in 1975, to where the contractor who took it from us quite literally told us with just shock in every way that he was stunned that we did not die in a house fire because it was that fucking illegally against code, even for
Wow.
1975 standards. And this was in 2013 by that point. So like
Wow.
think about how wildly more against code that house had to have been, and somehow it didn't literally fall apart or burn with us alive in it. And I'm still fucking
Wow.
attached to that and anchored to it, you know?
I bet.
15 and 2/3 of a year spent growing up in that house.
Dude, I mean, I actually, to tell you the truth, the what was it called? The area where
Okay.
where you come and visit me and stuff like that every once in a while, the that generalized area, the apartments over there, and also the trailer park over there.
Oh.
I literally lived there for about a good 20 to 30 years, ever since I was here in this state. Most of my years were over there in that generalized area.
Yeah.
The everywhere else, though, not
Yeah.
very seldom anywhere else. I mean, I basically spent 5 years over in Tualatin
I
and
just realized, by the
another
way,
area as well.
just realized he actually would have moved here when he was 4 because he's 40 this year. And
Correct.
if you math, if it was really 1990 you moved here, you would have been 4.
Correct.
Yeah, so you weren't 5, you were 4, so you were even younger. So really, your formative years were growing up here.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about him growing up in the apartments kind of over here, really close by, is funny because my family still has attachments to those apartments too. And it actually kind of goes back into like, it doesn't matter how far back in time you go and how short of a time you live in a certain place, it can still have such an outsized impact on you, whether you realize it or not. Usually it's going to be subconscious for people. But like for my mom, it's not. Because even my brother, actually, Mario, the youngest of my 2 half brothers, who are notably older than me. But yeah, you know, he grew up for like 2 years. They lived in those apartments there, and my mom still remembers the exact fucking unit she lived in with
Wow.
them with my brothers after they moved from Forest Grove. And she always, with grave detail, recites how much she regretted moving to Beaverton because of how cliquey it's always been, and how like it was true community in Forest Grove, and like everybody really looked out for each other. Everybody helped each other. Everybody celebrated each other. They always, no matter what, they always working with each other. Like everyone was an extended family. As soon as you move out here, the usual fucking like city like cliquey bullshit happens because Beaverton's such a cliquey,
Oh,
city.
that is so
It's
true.
ridiculous. So it's very exclusionary, ironically. And it's just a normal middle income neighborhood otherwise. But like they seem to act like and believe that they're living in some like rich neighborhood, where they can afford to be exclusionary and cliquey and just entitled. It's really bizarre. But anyway, this is the longest winded way to kind of just say is like, I especially am attached to my home via my roots, right? Like
Yeah,
all my memories are here. I remember it like it was when I was a kid. And of course, that's the first piece that kind of falls is how quickly your area gets redeveloped and changed
yeah,
so that you can literally remember, like, even at 22 or 20, I had so many different places around here. I could immediately talk like I was the cliche, like 80-year-old saying, back in my day, I was 20. And I could have done that with so many different places. And I did because it hurt to see it get redeveloped and change so much. And I actually, honestly, I can't imagine what it was like just before I was born because that's when this whole area up here, especially, got developed and completely changed. Because in the 80s and early 90s, even the early 90s, like up to about the year I was born, 94, they were planning on building PDX where the nature park is, Walton Hills Nature Park. So where Merlot
ooh,
Station and everything is, and
wow,
170th, they were gonna build it there. So like literally one tiny little incremental shift, and PDX would have been outside my backyard instead. I would have
wow.
lived in an airport neighborhood, basically, or the outer edge of an airport neighborhood, a major
Jeez.
international airport. It's never been a focus city really, or a hub because it's so small overall, and there's not really much to do in Portland or the Portland area,
Well, no
obviously. So go
kidding.
figure, it's not really a destination that people care about. So airlines don't really care about it either. But still, it's still going to be substantial because you still have what, like, I think it's 50 to 60 million fucking people going through PDX every year
Exactly.
right now, and it's like slowly growing. So like it's still, for not even being a focus city, this thing is packed every fucking day and night, and it's just scary to think about. Actually, now that I think about it, that makes me wonder what they would have done with HIO with Hillsborough, because
Hmm.
that's too close now to a major international airport and
Hmm.
runways. You think about it, everything could have been so different on the entire west side if they had chosen to do that. And I'm very thankful they didn't. But like that's kind of just for contrast's sake, right? Like I think about it, I'm so sad about how much it's been ruined to me because of how heavily like everything's changed and developed. Again, I remember when this exact fucking apartment unit and apartment building and apartment complex that I live in and have for now for upwards of 8 years as of March 15th. I remember when this thing was just a barn. It was a big blank green field with a barn all the way up to
Wow.
where Holly is in the primate torture facility, aka the OHSU Vaccine Research Institute. It's a torture facility. It should have been shut down in like the 90s when the first push really came. But either way, like all the way down and then all the way down to where, the railroad tracks are now.
Hmm.
Like I still remember that. And I remember when they built PCC Willow Creek, and then I remember when they built our complex that we live in now.
God, I remember
Like
that.
and it's just crazy because me and my mom still talk about how like we literally not just remember that red barn sitting out here, probably where the parking lot and the green area is, but we also remember that when they were building this complex, we literally said at the time, we're like, guaranteed in 15 years this place is going to be a slum. And boy, howdy, are me and my mom living it right now. We are literally living how spot on we were with that.